Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to light a fire with a friction fire method called the bamboo fire saw. Now, this method alongside the hand drill and the pump drill were some of the most commonly used friction fire methods by the Indigenous Taiwanese, and it's one of the most simplest ones because all you need is a piece of bamboo. Alright, so now what you want to be looking for when you're choosing a piece of bamboo is you want it to already be dry. Now, this can either be brown already from dead standing bamboo, or in this case, this is a piece of bamboo that was cut green and then just left to season until it's dried up. Now, in terms of length, sort of what you're looking for is one that will come up to around your waist, your hip area. Now, this one's a little bit short, I just don't have anything else at the moment, but it still works, because if I lean down, I can still support it up against my hip comfortably. Now, in terms of size, this is about on the smaller end of what you can use. You want to be able to fit at least 2 fingers across its diameter. Now, you can use ones that up to even 4 fingers, but that tends to be a bit harder. Okay, so the last thing we're looking for, and this one is not absolutely necessary, is we want as far a distance between each of the nodes as we can on a piece of bamboo. Now, this right here is the node. It sort of splits it off into a segment, and if I hadn't cut it right here, there would be another node right here. But we want as far a distance between those as possible. Alright, now to get started, the first thing we want to do is split the piece of bamboo right down the middle. So just find the midline, and bamboo likes to split nice and straight, so you can just kind of pound your knife into it. Just kind of wiggle it down, and whenever you get up to a node, you may need to pound it down a little bit more until it gets through. And then from there, you can just split it off. And then we have 2 halves. Okay, so for these halves, we're going to set one aside for now, usually either the one that has a bit straighter of a split, or is a bit larger. In this case, it's this one, so I'll set that aside. Okay, so with this half, we're going to be splitting it even further to make it flat so it's easy to hold. So then we're going to take our knife, just take a little bit of that off. So that would sort of give us 2 pieces that are being split off, and this piece right here that's going to be making our fireboard, or saw, I mean. There we go. Okay, so now with this piece that you've just cut further, you're going to want to shave down the sides so they don't cut you while working on it. So to do that, I'm just going to rub the edge of the knife against those. And now that'll take off some small little strips of the edges and make it safe to hold. Now there will be little bits of splitting here and there. You can just get rid of that. There we go. And now we can begin cutting it. Okay, so now to cut it, we want to cut just before the node here. Now with bamboo, we're going to take this slowly because it will want to split. So instead of like chopping away at it, just going to kind of cut it. It doesn't really matter too much what we're doing with this side. Alright, so now once you've sort of cut all around it, you see I've got it all around there, you can just split it. There we go. And there's going to be our saw. Alright, so with this piece that we just cut off of our saw, we're going to be using it to make 2 things. We're going to use it to make tinder and the strip to hold down the tinder. So first of all, to make the strip, just going to take the very outside, the very outside of the bamboo, and split it. There we go. Break that off. Now you see we have a thin strip here, and we're just going to cut that down, split it a little bit more along the sides. Alright, now that's a little bit thinner. We're going to remove some of these splinters just sort of by picking them off so we don't get any splinters when we're doing the fire saw. and then we can cut it a little bit shorter. Alright, now we want this to be nice and flexible. We don't want it to crush our tinder, so we're just going to shave it down a little bit on this side. And there we go. That piece is finished. Now with the rest of this that we cut off from it, what we're going to be doing is making our tinder. So all we do to do that, drag our knife along the side of it, and you'll see that nice sort of stringy stuff come off, just like when we were smoothing down the edges. And we're just going to keep doing this until we have a nice bundle. Alright, so luckily I did make myself a tinder bundle before we started, because it does take a while. But so what we're going to do now, we're going to take a little bit off of it, maybe just around this much, and split that, make sure it's nice and fluffy, and split that into 2 parts right here. And that's going to hold in our coal. Alright, so now the last 2 things we have to do before we make our fire. We're going to take our knife and just sort of sharpen the edge of the bamboo here, because when you split it in half, that's going to be sort of 90 degrees. We're going to make sure that's more so around 45 or so. Now here's where we run into an issue over here at the node, and this is why I picked this piece. So to deal with nodes, if we have one in the middle of where we're going to be sawing, we're just going to cut off a little bit on this side so it's flush with the rest of it. And then we're just going to cut into the node right here, so it's sort of the same thing, nice and flush with the rest of the edge of the bamboo here. Alright, so now that's cut to be nice and seamless. We can continue getting that edge to about 45 degrees or so. Alright, now that we've got that cut down, there's only one thing left to do. That's to set up the saw. So what we're going to do, find just around the center of it, and put a little hole through it with your knife. Now once this gets decently deep, you're going to put your finger on the other side to feel for the tip of the knife. And as soon as you feel that tip, you're going to stop. And right about there I feel it. So now you can actually see where it pokes out a little bit if the camera will focus, right there. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut right into that, just sort of make a little V around it. You just got a little notch carved in right there, and you can see the hole through it. So after I filmed the last scene, it kind of started raining, so a lot of my stuff got wet. So I switched to a different kit for today that wasn't out in the rain. I was at least able to save the tinder and all that, so at least I didn't have to remake that. So let's get started. So first thing you have to do, we gotta pound our fireboard into the ground with whichever side we're going to be using facing up. So just gonna grab a rock, kind of hit it in here. There we go. And so with this, we're going to have one leg up against it to support it, and then we're going to be leaning down on it with our hip to keep it firmly planted in the ground so it doesn't move. Next thing we have here is our saw. So there's our hole right there. We're going to take our 2 little tinder bundles and place it on either side of that. And we're going to take our sliver of bamboo and put that on top of the 2 tinder bundles just like that. So we're going to hold it like that, and then it's ready for making a fire. Okay, so first you're going to want to start off the sawing motion slowly, going back and forth with long strokes. Making sure to put down just a little bit of pressure, but not too much, because at this point you want to just build up dust in the hole. Now once you see the edge starting to brown up a little bit, you can start speeding up. And when you start seeing smoke appearing, you want to start speeding up even more and putting more pressure down into the board. And once you start getting tired, you're going to want to start putting even more pressure down into the board, but you can make smaller strokes and keep going until you run out of energy. And there we go. We've got our ember there. Nice and big. Smoke's getting in my face. So from this, we're just going to transfer it into the tinder bundle. And from here, you can just let the wind take it a little. See it smoking right here. Kind of wave it back and forth, gets it going really well. Sorry, I'm tired. And so from there, we can get it to light just by blowing on it a bit. See, it's nice and smoky. And there's our fire. Thank you for watching.